Hi, Rob.
Now
How are you?
I am very well, thank you. I've just had a cup of tea,
Lovely.
which means I'm feeling at my best.
For those who've not come across your amazing videos before, can you tell us a little bit about your setup, where you are, and how you live? Because it's quite unique.
Picture yourself in a forest where almost everything around you is food. This is an edible forest garden. And if I flip the camera around, there it is, and go outside, we'll be able to see the beginnings of it, because mine is not quite at that stage yet, as described, but here it is. It's a 2.5 acre site, which is approximately a hectare, and it's in year 6 of the overall 7-year planting plan. So all the trees and shrubs are planted. There are about 80 or 90 different kinds of fruit and nut tree. And this year I'm working on the ground cover, which is today's task. And in total, there are about 500 different species of edible plants and shrubs and flowers and all sorts really. And the emphasis is on symbiosis, so that it all grows together symbiotically. It's like companion planting on a huge scale, and it mimics a natural ecosystem. So in terms of structure, it's somewhere between a mature orchard and a young woodland, and there's lots of light between the trees. But these trees are quite young, and the oldest is only 7 years old, planted from a seed. So these are my grass cutters, and they are doing a very good job of cutting my asparagus at the moment. So if you excuse me, girls. That's right, move on over there. All right. Thank you, Sir Hiss. The girls, eat that grass. Sweet, sweet grass.
The big question that everyone's going to have for you, as we all sit at home, wondering how much fruit and veg we've still got sitting in our fridge, with hardly any of us growing our own vegetables, relying on our greengrocers and our supermarkets. How has the current climate affected you, or has it not?
How have I been affected recently? Well, it seems, although it's quite a serious situation, and I feel sorry for anyone without a garden, it seems quite funny to be asked to stay at home when, ironically, normally I have to be asked to go out anywhere. I mean, why would I want to be anywhere else? I've got most of my food here, and I spend my days planting things and sowing seeds and watching the geese and the ducks. And if I want something to eat, I just go out and find it in the garden. And I'm a great advocate for growing your own. I mean, you don't have to have a whole hectare like this. You can grow anything in a very, very, well, not anything. You can grow many, many things in a small space, be it a window box or a balcony, or even indoors. You can grow all kinds of things like salad and strawberries and even trees indoors. And in fact, something I'm working on this month is a good chance to plug my YouTube channel, Rob's Discovery. This is a 20 foot by 20 foot plot within the overall hectare plot. And this is an example where I'm taking 50 of the very finest 500 overall species and showing you how you can start a permaculture garden in 20 by 20 feet. So planting all the 50 different fruits and vegetables together into a very, very low maintenance and productive garden. And you can see now it's just bare soil with some paths in between. But one of this week's jobs is to sow the seeds and plant 49 or 52, is it, different kinds of perennial vegetables, and that'll be filled just there in a month or so's time. So if you go to my channel or my Facebook page, it's called Rob's Forest Garden, then you can see how that's progressing and learn how to do your own.
How long would something like that take to develop so that you can actually start living off it?
Do you mean the project as a whole, or this individual little garden here?
No, I think I've seen, certainly on social media, people starting to plant vegetables, but of course, for someone such as myself who's not remotely green-fingered, how long is it going to take for anything to start growing?
Well, you'll never regret starting a garden, be it just annuals to eat this year, because annuals grow a lot more quickly than perennials, because they only last for a season, so they have to grow as quickly as possible. And many people only really know how to grow annuals because that's the way it's been done for the last 100 years in this country at least.
Mm-hmm.
But perennial vegetables are making a comeback now, and it's a way of really future-proofing your garden. And not only are perennial vegetables a lot lower maintenance, but they actually are a lot more nutritious as well, because the roots go deeper and they're hardier, and there's nothing that you can't get a perennial version of annual things that we grow at the moment, apart from perhaps I think carrots and beetroot and tomatoes, but everything else there's a perennial version. Garlic, potatoes, I mean the lot really. So although I'm demonstrating this now, it won't really be ready for very much harvest this year, but it's always a good idea to have a larder that you can call on indefinitely. So that's why I'm doing it. So it's to sort of take responsibility for your own food source and to show people how they can feed themselves from a very small area long term.
Now, the other question I had, was, as everyone's sitting at home, undoubtedly organising their houses, having a bit of a clear out, I'm imagining that waste and recycling are probably having a bit of a nightmare collecting everything. But I mean, in your case, am I right in saying you produce hardly any waste at all? Because I'm imagining you probably compost items, you haven't got the plastic packaging. So, but
I am zero waste as well, not just because I grow most of my own food, but because I make an effort for the things I do buy to have very, very little packaging. And the packaging that I do have on unavoidable items, I stuff into plastic bottles and make eco bricks, which have become quite trendy recently.
I've seen,
understandably video. Actually, because yes, my first eco brick on my YouTube channel. I'm just walking over to where my eco bricks are stored. See what 2 years waste represents for one person, and I've put them all down here. There, this is 2 years waste. Everything, every internet order, Christmas presents, the lot. I mean, how many bottles are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is my 10th bottle. You can see it's all packed tightly into there. And I think it's officially zero waste, because those bottles are not leaving the site here. When I have enough, I'm going to build something from them, like a small greenhouse or cold frame. And the more time that passes, the more ways I've found to use less and less single-use plastic, and therefore to have less waste. So yes, my green credentials look very good on paper.
That's absolutely remarkable. I think there must be hardly anyone else in this country who can actually claim the same. And I imagine after this, people might start thinking a bit more about waste and how much they're actually putting out every week.
Yeah, there are lots of changes afoot really, and especially being at home more, it makes you realise what you actually need or don't need. I'm just flipping the camera around so you can see the geese. I spend a lot of the day watching them, mostly watching they don't eat things that they shouldn't eat, but they're having a bit of a it's Randy o'clock. I'll just
Fair enough. Is it just geese that you've got, or have you got other animals?
There are, the only so-called domesticated animals are ducks and geese, but they play a part in the ecosystem just like the trees and plants do. The geese are predominantly grass cutters to save me using a petrol mower to cut the grass, although I still have to sometimes because I don't have quite enough geese yet. Although there are some eggs being incubated as we speak, thanks to my mum, who has a reliable electric source so she can have the incubator. So the spring should bring another gosling or two. And the geese also protect the ducks from foxes. So the ducks can wander around, quite safe that the geese will fight anything off. And the ducks are for slug patrol. They go around eating all the slugs from all the vegetable beds and all the eggs of slugs in the winter too. Wow. So I don't have to, so it's even less work for me to do.
It's been absolutely fascinating talking to you. Thank you so much for giving us an insight into what can only be, I think, described really as almost a Garden of Eden. It's an absolute paradise that you're living in. And I think there are a lot of people at the moment who must be extremely envious and probably reevaluating their own lifestyles at the moment based on watching this. So thank you.
Very welcome, Alex. Well, it's good to speak with you, and perhaps speak with you again very soon.
Absolutely, I hope so. Lovely. All right. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.